preparing to stream live. It says we're live on YouTube, but another screen says that we're preparing to be live. I don't know which one.
No, I see the live is now streaming.
I'm gonna say
this is the pre-live.
All right.
I just got the notification.
We're live.
Yep. We're live. All right.
Beautiful.
Perfect. Welcome. This is the post game to the opening night. We lost 10-5. There were some good things, some bad things, some Jace Fry things. We're going to talk about a bunch of them. I know Beef wants to talk about something first before we get into the Sox talk. But before we get to that, just want to introduce, because we don't have our normal crew of just me, Beef, and My Sox Summer, because My Sox Summer is, I don't know, he's in some other country, I think Michigan. And so
yes,
we got the king of hot dogs, Matt Nominson, with us. Matt, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. Could have been a little better with that game though, but
strong beard game. Strong beard.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I'm fucking loving it. And then when me and Beef were like, who else we got to get for this thing? I was like, well, you know, we got to get the best double play combo on the planet, or as the kids say, the best DP on the planet. That's Mr. Hand.
Double entendre.
And obviously, Wally Money's got to be involved in that. You guys take whichever side you want. None of my business.
I'm sure they got that worked out already, Treasy. I think they've been working together long enough.
I don't know who's second base or
shortstop.
I don't know who's second base or shortstop.
Are you implying airtight?
No. I'm just implying.
No one said Chinese finger cuffs, okay?
Okay.
They might have thought it, but they didn't say it, okay?
I'm just implying a good double play combo. That's all I'm talking about. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but it sounds filthy. You know what sounded filthy tonight? So I was, and I'm glad we're starting off the show in just absolute filth so that people kind of know like what they're getting into. But there was like I don't know what inning it was. Let me see. I got some notes here. I think it's in like the second or third inning. There was the swing box, right? Which on its own sounds totally normal. Totally normal baseball thing. But it's presented by Roman. Why would you do that? Why would you?
Yes. And
why would that be your sponsor for that? It made it sound dirty.
Well, that sounds like a My Sox Summer intro, period.
I know. Well, I got to channel him, man. He's not here. I got to do his bit.
Is it sponsored by J-Mac?
I wish.
No, it was sponsored by Boner Pills, as Jim Margulis called it the other night.
Yes, I heard that. I was outside. I was working the kettlebells a little bit, and I hear him blurt out Boner Pills, and I almost fucking dropped the kettlebell on my head. I was like,
well, we got to hit up our boy White Sox Dave and get them blue chews.
No, that's Herb.
Yeah. Herb got the blue chews.
Oh, was that Herb that had it?
Yeah, Dave had the swipes. He had the Roman swipes.
Oh, I was ready to swipes. That's right.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Beef, I feel like you need to turn up just a little bit. We can barely hear you.
Oh, am I a
Turn it
little
to
low?
11.
There you go. So, Beef, why don't you tell us about what you wanted to talk about with the Blue Jays?
We lost.
We lost you again. We lost you again.
He's still there.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes,
now I can hear you.
I'm just going straight audio, no microphone. Yeah, so before we even got to the Sox game, I realized, man, I got MLB TV. Let me turn this shit on, right? I flip it on. I'm going through the game. I find the Blue Jays and Rays because I want to check out the Rays talent and the Blue Jays young talent. We take for granted how in shape and ripped our young players are. Because when I went over to that Blue Jays game, man, they put on their fucking COVID-15. Vladito looks like Weensy from old school. Guy looks like a fucking beanbag chair. I mean, like, this team is fat and puffy. They look like
I didn't see any of that game yet.
They look like a delicious peep in the microwave on East. I mean, that's how the team, and they won today. So I mean, maybe that's what you need. You got to get a little fat. They're too athletic.
I mean, if any podcast is going to get behind everyone getting fat, this is it. So I'm down with it. I'm down with it.
Come to the right place.
Yes, absolutely.
I got a quick question on the other games now. So I was watching the Mets game for a little bit, and then when the Cubs came on, because I kind of want to watch the beginning of the Cubs and Brewers game. Did you guys have UFC fighting on
They
instead of the Cubs on ESPN tonight?
Oh no. So I
The
I
local
assume,
blackout again because we don't have the Marquee Network.
yeah, you got to have the Marquise Grissom
Yeah.
network.
Okay.
It's,
I thought for nationally televised games that shit would have been televised, but I guess not.
They said, fuck you, man. They don't want you watching. They want you to watch fighting instead.
Yeah.
It ended up making me just watch like a batting practice anyways. So it was actually kind of nice to see batting practice live.
Yeah, I kind of like that. That was good.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
just wanted to watch some baseball. That's all. And we all get the the MLB TV and shit. So even had the local blackout trying to watch it on the phone.
Did you not get the thing for like season ticket holders where they just give you the MLB TV for free?
Oh yeah, no, I got it, but they still
Oh,
blocked
they
out.
still black that. Yeah.
Did a local blackout for the Cubs games. So it's like
Gotcha.
you're too close.
Well,
in the,
Cubs games are blacked out on there too. And the
All right.
opponent broadcast is blacked out for it as well.
Well, let's talk about the Sox game. Well,
Yes.
give me some instant thoughts. I'm gonna kick it around, but Matt, I'll go with you first. Give us some thoughts on the game today.
Not a big fan of the second base play. I think scrolling through Twitter, that was the general consensus, but I'm not a huge Madrigal guy, but I feel like that's the route we should be going in. Everybody thinks he's going to be up in 6-7 days. So why even waste the chance now and see what happened tonight? So I don't think it would have changed the outcome, but I understand that. Yes, but
the thing that annoys me about it in general is the idea of like, well, he's got to get some more work done, but there's not really work getting done. It's not like there's a minor league season. It's just like, why don't you go sit over there for 5 minutes and I'm sure you'll be better when you come back. Like we know it's bullshit. Like it's more bullshit than it's ever been. And they're trying to sell it. And like you got to put your best team out there. I mean, we've been talking about this shit since January. And again, this group right here is not Madrigal truthers. We don't think that he's going to be like the best fucking player ever, but you had a Gold Glove second baseman last year. To drop from that to Lurie Garcia, who I love Lurie. He could play every position okay, but it's a huge drop off from Gold Glove to okay. So you need to have that defense there because you don't have a lot of other defense. So I think it showed today like what a problem that is. And also like I and you guys get into this wherever you want, but also I didn't like having Nicky out there. Like I don't know what he brings to the table.
It's because Marshall's down because he's hurt is why they put him out there. But I'm right there with you. To me, I felt Nicky was the biggest besides Giolito jitters in the first inning. Nicky was the biggest letdown for me tonight. He flashed a little bit in the preseason or whatever they want to call that. Had a home run, hit some stuff, but his defense, his initial read off the ball coming out, he had a bad first step on at least 3 plays.
I agree.
And then I like Nicky, but yeah, when they released him at the beginning of the season, I hate to say it, they probably should have left him there.
Yeah, and I was surprised with all the talk about like this is the healthiest he's ever been as he just like grounds the ball into the dirt like
His
constantly.
18
It's
hour
like
exit velocity.
yeah, it's just like oh well, you guys saw what he could do when he wasn't healthy. Well, look at him now.
Right.
Here's a double play. Here's a ground
and
ball
even
to
his
first.
arm.
Like
His
it's
arm
just
wasn't
like,
that strong.
it's like
Like throwing it to second. It looked like My Sox Summer throwing the first pitch. It was like get that ball in there faster.
That's the first side swipe of My Sox Summer since we started. We've been on.
Don't
for
be
2
dissing my
minutes.
man.
I will say
There's going to be first of many. He should be on here.
better than that Fauci first pitch.
Yeah.
Fauci was not
bad.
not
That
quite
was
50
Fauci
cents.
Yeah, but it was
It was
close.
close. It was like 50 cents. Fauci, that one. Who was it?
So a female.
The woman that hit the photographer,
Yep.
Yes.
and then My Sox Summer.
Fauci is 80 years old, though. I mean,
That's
a
true.
little bit
That's what I was
older.
gonna say. To caveat it, he's a really old dude, and
Well,
the rest of
he
these
looks
people are
good for
like
80.
his age.
He
Well,
does,
still,
but
You
yeah.
gotta practice.
You also don't know this about him, but he's a huge 50 Cent fan. So that may have just been an homage. Like
There you
that
go.
may have been
Yeah.
like that may have been just like 50. I know
Yeah.
what it's
I
about.
got your back.
Hey, it's your birthday.
So there's a couple of things that stand out to me on this, and they're all interrelated. And I hate to say this because I was giving them shit just a little while ago. Something Ken Bo said on Twitter, I have to agree with. They were going in expecting that Nomar Mazara was going to be the answer in right field, and they really didn't get any kind of real backup contingency plan, whatever you want to call it. And that showed tonight. And then
They
obviously-
have a backup for him. They put him at second
Angle,
base.
you
Yeah.
Angle, you
I
got
was going to
Nicky.
get there. And then the other part is obviously the backup was actually playing second base tonight because you're playing games with service time for Madrigal, and there's no other way to say it. And I don't know how much you saw of the batting practice, but when they had Adam Hogan, when he talked about how Rick Hahn said that Lurie Garcia gives them the same type of chance to win as
Yeah, I saw that
right
bullshit.
now. Oh, that hurts.
He does if he's playing fucking right field. I mean, so here's my problem with the whole scenario
Mhm.
is like I know people are all ready to dunk on Han for not having depth, but he
Yes.
does have depth. He did that. He said, I'm putting a guy in right field, and if that doesn't work out, I've got a guy who's all right in right field, which is Lurie Garcia, and he's set that up. But when Mazara gets hurt, you
Mhm.
throw out the fucking plan for Hayden Madrigal. You got to get rid of that plan. That plan's
Yes,
fucked.
absolutely.
You got to go, okay, well, now we need a different plan. And we're
Yeah.
just going to worry about the $4.5 million that we're eventually going to have to pay Madrigal for
Yeah.
being a light hitting second baseman.
Yeah.
So like, I just like it.
Two
They
things
had
on this,
the
please.
plan. They had the plan. And then they looked at it and they said, nah, fuck our plan. We'll just do something stupider.
two things on this. You're right. I mean, they're trying to buy optionality, right? Everyone's
Yeah.
focusing on, well, the guy's not going to be a max player or whatever. All they're trying to do is have the option to have the guy for an extra year, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of totally understandable. I don't like it when you're trying to win, which none of you guys do either. But what was hilarious to me is that this was the extreme worst result that could possibly happen for one single game of switching him out, putting Lurie in there, right? I mean, will Lurie ever have a game that bad at second again? Probably not. But it's perfect that it's on opening night, so it smears the shit all in his face, and he realizes, Jesus, this was a stupid fucking idea. If it had just been a couple minor things, wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But
If
I'm
it was
really
one
glad
play.
the way it fell.
Yeah.
I know it's an extreme example, but like it's also you are trying to pull off this like let's hide this guy and let's just put Lurie at second and get through it against the best team that you're going to play all year.
Yes.
The absolute with their best pitcher on the mound. Like
And
you,
most
you're
part,
literally- you know why it's
Right.
the extreme example? Because you made it the fucking extreme example. You were like,
You left
Well,
yourself
yeah.
open to it. I agree.
I'm
You know,
gonna,
I
I'm
think-
gonna, you know, I'm gonna put this up against the best absolute team that can possibly go against me and see what happens. Rather than, and Beef, I get what you're saying. Yeah, they're just trying to get this extra year of this guy, but he's not that guy. He's not the guy that you do that for, right? He's not Chris Bryant. He's not Yoel Moncada.
I think everyone focuses too much on if they're like a big player, but a real big player is going to make a lot of money in that last year. So it's even not as good of a value. It's kind of a better value if the guy is like a moderate, good regular who won't make a lot of money. So I get why they want to do it. I just fucking hate it, especially when you think you're competing. Either you compete or you don't compete. Either you fuck around and don't care, or you care and you try to win right goddamn now and put your best team there. I don't get it.
Exactly.
Agree.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but
I'm
know
with
what?
you.
We scored. All right, go ahead, Grit. Go
No,
ahead.
no. I was just gonna keep disagreeing with Beef Loaf. So why don't you go ahead?
But in all honesty, we scored 5 runs. That should be enough to win the goddamn game.
Yep.
Like,
with your ace
I,
on the
I,
mound.
I understand Giolito got stuck in the fifth. We had a chance in this shit. Like the bullpen, the defense. It's not just Nicky and it's not just Larry why we lost this damn game. Like, to be honest, I thought, especially with this, 30-man roster right now, we'd be looking all right, but our bullpen's looking like shit. I mean, besides my guy, Jace Fry,
You look good.
nobody really looked all that great to me. I
Fry-
mean, Giolito was good after the first, and then about the fifth, he was starting to get
Until
shaky
Kepler came
again.
back
It's our pitching, which I thought would be fantastic this year, was the one thing that was going to actually, on paper, look like it was going to be our namesake this year. Besides the the softball team of hitters we got, is back to the old '90s, way of just home runs.
You mean
You
the
know,
Kendall teams?
And yet, I think we really showed our weakness that our pitching. Well, I mean, we'll see tomorrow with Keiko going. If he can get in, because shit, we had what 6-7 pitchers go tonight.
Yeah.
Seven.
And you know what, Pete? I thought Calvin Herrera looked good, just in case you're
Yeah.
wondering. I know you're not a big fan, but guys like me, I stick with my guys that I said this is a horrible contract, and you
And just so everyone knows, I sent them a message saying, "Oh Christ, here comes Herrera."
like I got it. Like I saw the message and I was like, who do you want? Like is Chuck
Hey,
Trilok gonna
Shields
come
still
out
a
and
free
pitch?
agent?
What's that?
What?
I said, is Shields still a free agent?
Oh, Shields too expensive, baby. He's
Yeah, he's sitting at home, right?
Working at Home Depot.
what are you
He's
gonna,
made $100 million. He ain't coming out of retirement for this bullshit.
he wants
He's over at the Maxwell Street Depot right now.
he looked at Jerry like Umfunfu and he said, I want half.
Umbuddy foo foo. Oh,
Now, Wally, you bring up a great point, though. Everyone focused in real tight on the lineup, which is good. Obviously,
Right.
it's an offense. And then they neglected all the other shit, like the pitching. Everyone's banking Giolito's going to be great again. They're already banking the gains on Cease. And it's just like, we ain't there yet. Let's see it happen
Exactly,
for the
exactly,
season first,
yes.
And the bullpen is scary. You're right. Fry looked good tonight, so that's a super good sign. Aaron Bummer's going to be fine. I'm not worried about him. You kind of have column A. If Cody Hoyer's something, maybe we're starting to get a bullpen to pull together. But I'm still worried about this pitch.
Marshall was a little rough, but I still got faith in Marshall. Let's
Well,
go. Oh, go ahead, Pete. Go
I
ahead.
was going to say, if in all honesty, with Marshall, there were a couple pitches where it looked like he had dead had the strike and got called a ball.
Yeah.
He had some bad luck.
Be able to
Yeah.
overcome that, but let's call it what it is. If you're throwing something right down the middle and it's called a ball, you're like, okay, what am I supposed to do now?
Yeah.
In
And
the run scoring play, the pitch he threw, the changeup was good.
Yeah,
that was a great
It was
pitch.
a good,
yes.
The batter did a good job. Sometimes that happens. I
Yeah.
thought it was interesting that they used Evan Marshall in probably the highest leverage situation of the game. It told you that Ricky believes in Evan Marshall right behind Aaron Bummer, right?
Yep.
Because that's the two. Those are like the
Yeah.
two guys you're going to use in those spots. You want to save Bummer for later. So his next best guy that he would use is Evan Marshall. I thought that was interesting, very telling.
So let's talk a little bit about the hitting,
That
because
was
the
good,
hitting
Wally.
exists, and that was
Yes.
good. Matt, anyone pop out? Oh, there's the Evan Marshall jersey.
They finally dried out.
Where's your Fry jersey?
I don't have a fried jersey.
Matt, did anyone pop out at you on the hitting side?
The top of the order hit the ball hard. Even the couple outs that we made at the top, it was nice. Nice to see. I don't know if it's because there's no fans, and we're hearing it sound better, but it looks good, and we know we're going to hit this year. I wish Eloy, for personal reasons, would have got a couple up in the air and hit some home runs tonight, like Kepler did, but that's all right. I think they're going to come around. We just got to, if the pitching shores up, I think we're going to be all right, because I feel like we will score 5-6 runs a game.
So Cornsey mentioned the same thing about the bats, but she mentioned it when Luis Robert was up, and I was like, I don't know. I think it might just be that that's a fucking defensive end hitting the ball. Like he's just like
He's strong.
I was worried. I was worried about Robert coming into the season because and I still
Like,
worry
Your worry's
because,
gonna be gone now.
because like
Mike?
he's got to adjust, you know.
Yeah.
But like when he doesn't have to make great contact is what I'm seeing. Is like if he just puts the bat on the ball, it
Mhm.
goes flying. So like
Well, to your,
I think like he's gonna cover up some of his kind of growing pains with
Yeah.
just the ability to just if he touches the ball, it goes real far, real fast.
Well,
It's
well,
kind of amazing.
yeah, to that point, look back on the first exhibition game or summer camp, whatever you want to call it, against the Cubs. Robert looked awful in that first at bat against Hendricks. He looked overmatched and everything else. Second at bat, he came up and you're like, wow, that was a quick adjustment because they made him look silly the first at bat and he adjusted, and just smoked one. And that one, what did they say the one he hit tonight was 118 miles per hour exit velocity?
Yeah,
Yeah, something
that was
outrageous.
his first hit, like
Yeah.
his first career hit. It was either 115 or 118, I forget. And they said that the only one hit last year was faster than that.
Yeah.
So
and
he's
the
like he's
batting average-
almost like breaking basically the best exit velocity. Bigums will love this shit, but but seriously, like basically saying he's got the best exit velocity on the team right now, and it was his first fucking hit.
And what
I
did
mean,
they
his
say the average
upswing is
was?
just amazing.
What did they say the average was at 750 or something?
When you hit the ball that hard, yeah, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's hard to field. I mean,
Yes.
ball coming at you 115 miles per
Yeah.
hour. I mean, yeah, I mean, like, was it Timmy in the first inning who lasered that one off of
Yes.
Donaldson's arm?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like if you get up there and you hit the ball real hard, like
Mhm.
it's gonna find its way through the infield. Even
Is it
with
wrong
like,
that I hope Donaldson broke his arm on that?
it's a little rough.
already wishing harm on the opponents, huh?
I will say Baldelli did a great job of having his players in the right spot, like
Oh,
all
yeah.
night. Like that
Oh, yeah.
that was impressive. As to the kind of other side of Ricky just not having anyone near the ball half the time, and so
I mean, that goofy play in the first inning where Lurie was on the shortstop side of second, and
yeah, and threw
Well, that
back to
shift-
Timmy.
That shift fucking worked. And then what the hell is Lurie doing trying to throw it to second for the force? Like, there's no one covering. Just throw to first, you idiot. Like,
Not to mention the guy was there.
I
yeah,
thought for a second, why is Tim, what's going on here? Like, what was he doing? Does he not know where he's going? And then when I watched the replay, I'm like, no one's supposed to be able to cover that. The shortstop's on the other side of this guy. What the fuck?
Yeah. All right, so I got a quick question for you guys. Then who was, in your opinion, the player of the game for the White Sox today? Then
It's got to be to me. It's Yohan.
Yeah.
He knocked the shit out of the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, and like we talked about this last year when we were actually in the park to watch some of these. Like that's a guy you are just excited when he comes up to the plate.
absolutely.
He's just like you absolutely think he's going to crush the ball every time he gets up there because that swing just does it. That's like it's such a beautiful swing. It's not quite Griffey beautiful, but it's just such a sweet, like powerful swing that you just assume it's going to be something spectacular. And so when it is, it's even better. And so I think he just went out there, and I think a lot of people thought he's going to be rusty. He looked great.
Rona who? He just came back Monday.
I
Yeah,
know.
exactly. Guy
That's a
couldn't
super athlete right there, man.
taste shit 10 days ago, and now he's just cranking home runs. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
I mean, I
When,
think
when they
it's
kept saying he was a triple away from the cycle.
yes,
Yeah, he was, and he got that last at bat to try it. For me, I love Moncada. Thought he was great. The guy who caught my eye tonight was Eloy Jimenez. He looks like he has control of the strike zone. He was laying off lots of the bullshit that he was swinging at last year, and he hit some bullets. To me, I would start looking at does Eloy Jimenez move his way up from 6th in the order right now? Because the way he's controlling the strike zone, he drew a walk tonight. He had 2 hits. I almost feel like that he's becoming the number 3 hitter you thought he could become. And so when do they start looking at what point of the season do they start looking at moving him in and Abreu back in the lineup? I'll be keeping an eye.
All right, so I'm going to piggyback on that. Where do you think he can actually move up to? Because I don't see him as a number 3 for us. Maybe number 2.
I see him as a 4.
Yeah, I mean, I think 3 or 4.
Over Abreu and Grandal, and then you got
Yeah,
really.
I'd move Grandal up.
definitely over Abreu. Yeah.
I'd go Eloy 3 and Abreu 4 and bump Grandal down.
Yeah, I like that.
And keep Edwin at number 5.
No, move that.
He'd get pushed back, I guess, too.
Well, I want to see a little bit more out of E5. See what he's got. Like if there's a lot of home runs left in that tank, yeah, you move him wherever the hell you want.
We're gonna see that Parrot go fuck it.
I'd love to see it. Love to see it. I just don't want to see his playoff appearances from last year. Like that's what I don't want to see.
That was ugly.
Well, that was the one thing. He get hits in the fucking leg. They pinch run him, and then all of a sudden now he's out. Like what the fuck was that play?
Oh, he was back.
Well, no, he was out at first.
No, but they like pinch run him, and they're like, oh no, now he's out. So I'm like, his ass, and he did come back, but I was like, what?
Yeah.
He never touched the base.
No, I know he didn't touch the base. I saw that, but I think if the ball hits you, aren't you safe? That's the Little League rules.
No, you're out.
What Little League is that?
No, if the ball hits you in play, but if a player hits you with it, I mean, if you get pegged with the ball, you're safe.
No, you're not. You usually are because the ball bounces off of you and then you just go to the base and you're fine. If you dive past the base and don't touch it and lay on the ground until someone tags you,
do that Reggie Miller roll and then fucking don't touch the base. You're out.
If he would have fell on the base and just rolled over it and then laid there writhing in pain, he would have been safe. The fact that he never touched first base was problematic.
That's a mistake.
All right.
You got to touch it, Wally. You got to touch it.
Yeah, you of all people should know that.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna leave that one alone right now. It's an early night. This is the first game of the season. I'm not in my true opening day form because I'd be sleeping right outside Beef Loaf's driveway right now.
Outside the beef
in my
cave?
car.
I was thinking about that in like the 7th inning. Just like this is the soberest I've ever been in the 7th inning of an opening day game since I was probably like 8. I don't know.
And for once, fucking God, that we can't be there. There's no fucking rain. There's like no rain delay. There's no bullshit. Like we
July.
actually had great weather and we're not fucking there.
All right, I got another question about today. Did you guys ever find out where you're at seated wise?
Yeah, so we're in section 121. Cornsey is in section 119, and we saw her a few times today.
Oh, nice.
So when they
I think I saw Alexis put a post saying she's in 121 too.
So I think a lot of us. I think Matt Ramsey's in
121.
Yeah, he's in 121.
He's like 2 rows right behind me.
I thought they said if you submit them all together, that you guys were all going to sit together.
Supposed to be together.
Whoever you submitted together. What did Mike Summer do? Did he fuck you guys up, or just? Or they just?
I don't think he did anything. I know that they let that
Par for the course,
like
isn't it?
100 of them be all in the same section. That guy's all together.
Hey, if some guy wants to drop $5,000, he wants to drop $5,000. I'd have bought
At
least 30 game used jerseys for that money. But
I have no problem with him dropping $5,000 on that.
No,
right?
I don't either.
But you know
power to
what?
him.
Be more creative. Like that should Beef. You know what picture it should have been? It should have been the White Sox Dave eating the hot dog. That's the picture that should have been. He should have had 100. of
White
those.
Sox Dave beer.
Or that prison meal he likes to make.
Yes.
Teresi and I have a bunch of ideas for if they do this again, all the people we're gonna buy ones for. It's gonna get interesting. I don't know if we have the
but-
bank
but you know what?
but we'll do
Oh
it.
Christ! If
do
you're buying
100
one for
different
me, I know
poses,
what
though.
picture it is.
Like I would like to see 100 different poses of the guy.
I agree.
Like get my side, get this side, get the back of the head. Like I'd have been, you know how I would have done it.
I think you line the
Yeah, but you have to
entire-
wear clothes, Wally.
Well, I just chest
All the
up.
Costanza
They would probably
poses?
let us try, you
Yeah,
know.
he'd be in his cabana wear.
Mr. Hand, that is not true. There is a guy with a cutout who has no shirt on.
Oh yeah, that's
He
right.
has beautiful tits. So you don't need to even
Oh!
wear this thing, man.
I saw people complaining about that. I don't understand it. I
The
like it.
nipples were supple, Matt. I don't know. I don't get where the people are getting upset about. Okay,
Those,
that's how you would be at the park anyway. Who gives a fuck? Like you can tell your kids not to look. I mean, that's fine, but this is a public place.
those same people watch the soak every time we do it. Don't let them fucking fool you.
Yeah.
Matt, they're gonna be looking at your tits this
Yeah.
weekend.
Oh,
They're in-
baby.
They're in for a fucking treat on Sunday. Let me tell you.
Hey, and for the Stoke, Matt, I want to see you have like 3 or 4 different color, like Captain Lou Albano, like rubber bands in your beard.
So Amy lost the rubber bands, so that's why I just have the straight clear ones today. We had colorful ones somewhere, so we'll see what we can do.
It's not
Send
going
her
to
to
work
the
though.
store
'Cause we
tomorrow.
wear the masks.
But
We
yeah,
wear the
no,
mask stuff.
that's why I
You
went
know,
this
so-
route. No, I went this route tonight, and I'm gonna have the mask on Sunday.
Wow.
Or if you wear like
that's the case-
a regular mask, maybe they'll hang below. But
Or-
we've been wearing the shields. You know?
Or
Yeah.
a ball gag.
You know what? Have the
A
mask
ball
have
gag
like a
would let
cutout.
you
Cut it
still
right
do
here so
that.
the beard sticks out of the mask.
Breezy, the ball gag only protects going out. You don't get a lot of protection going.
That's-
Well, I don't think. Allegedly.
True. I've watched Pulp Fiction enough to know
That is-
that. Yeah.
That just so you can't hear them scream.
I'm
Yeah. All right, I'm
All right.
signing off.
I'm gonna mute Wally. All right.
It's
So-
like, why does somebody dance in butter?
Well, hey,
Mute.
we're not getting
Mute
into
him.
any of that.
We don't need all them secrets right now.
All right. We're getting close to the end here. I want a parting thought from each of you. I'm gonna start with Mr. Hand because this one might be the longest. So give me your 7 minutes of your parting thought.
I don't know if it's 7 minutes, but I'm really curious to see how they react tomorrow. Is it going to be the White Sox of old where they come in thinking like, their shit doesn't stink, and then all of a sudden they go on a 4 or 5 game losing streak? Or is Keuchel going to be the type of pitcher that everyone hopes he does, that he is, and he shuts down the Twins? So I'm really curious to see how they react after today's game, because there was one point after Kepler hit the leadoff home run, Giolito looked like me in algebra class, fearful of being called on because I didn't know the answer. It's immediately what I thought about. I'm like, that was me in algebra when I didn't know the answer. Go, please don't call on me. Please don't call on me. That's what he looked like. So I'm curious to see how they respond.
Wally Money, what do you got?
You know what? I'm going to do a slump buster lock. White Sox are winning tomorrow. Keuchel's going to shut down. In my opinion, Keuchel should have started a damn game, or it should have been the opening day starter. I love Giolito. I'm just gonna leave that one alone. But I think they're gonna come down. I think the pitching's actually gonna show up tomorrow. I'm gonna say Keuchel's gonna go at least 7 tomorrow.
Wow.
Sox are actually they're if we score 5 runs a game, and to be honest, I didn't see the full potential of our offenses tonight. I really didn't. We had plenty of opportunities to score some runs, and we didn't. This offense is, to be honest, is one of the best. Granted, it's on paper, but has impressed me more than I've seen in a long time. We've got a lot of big hitters. I like to call it a softball team, where there's a lot of guys that get home runs. A lot. We've got at least 100, 125 home runs. I think even in this 60-game season.
That's a bold prediction, 120.
Yeah, I know. Hey, I'll put money on it. Like I'm serious. Like this team can actually, as long as the pitching holds up, we'd be all right. I mean, and essentially, we got 5, 6 starters.
Yeah.
Make a couple of them starters. Go to a 4-man rotation. I don't give a shit. You use a couple of the other starters as the 2, 3, 4 inning, relievers. Something to save our bullpen because I don't trust it. But I really think we're gonna get it back tomorrow, and our offense is what's gonna save us for most of these games the rest of the season.
Wally brings up a good point because I'm really curious to see when the roster starts getting pared down. I think you'll know who's going based on some of the usage because they're probably going to burn out a couple pitchers. And depending on which pitchers, those might be the ones that get sent down when it goes down to 28.
Possibly. Yeah. They might. Well, we'll see when the problem is we're not going to be down and really think that we're out of it too often.
Right.
So
I mean, like Ross the Boss may be gone when they go down to 28. As an
yeah,
example.
that makes sense.
Now that they changed the whole playoff schemes, I mean, really, Minnesota's probably going to take our division. Let's just be honest. As much as I don't want to admit it, they probably are. But who else is going to fucking take second? Second's for us to lose. I got no faith in Kansas City.
It's all Cleveland then. It's
Cleveland's
all
good.
Cleveland.
Cleveland's the
It's all
only one,
Cleveland.
and their offense.
Can we
is
beat
low.
Cleveland?
Right. Because Detroit shit. So yeah, it's between us and Cleveland. And I think they won. 3-0. Did they beat Kansas City today?
Yeah.
I think I saw that they
Kansas
won.
City.
But I mean, all we gotta do is take second, and then once the playoff comes, shit, it's anybody's game. We just got to get in there, and then you never know. Everybody changes shit, especially with this new, 2 out of 3 for the fucking first round.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The quick first round.
Right.
Could be anything.
And there's no bye, so the first number
Not
1
only
doesn't
that,
play number 8 and shit.
The
So
lower seeded team doesn't play at home in the first round.
you know what? In this nowadays with no fans in there, what the fuck is home field advantage anyways?
Keep it in your own bed.
I don't know
Yeah,
if you
but I mean,
noticed, but I'm out there staring from my cardboard cutout, intimidating the shit out of people.
That's right.
Right?
Just like AJ.
If they would have better framed me to scare the Twins, we wouldn't have had any of this shit. Kepler wouldn't hit any of those home runs if the 108 crew's out there staring them down. Just a fact.
Well, tell my Sack Summer to get on the phone with Brooks and straighten it out.
I'm sure that's why he's not joining us right now. That's what he's doing. King Nam, give me your parting thoughts.
I'm kind of with Pete on that. I want to see how we react tomorrow. What I liked is that I was a little nervous after we dropped the 4 in the first. I like they reacted good and came back, and then of course nothing after that. But they're young. I feel they're young and they're resilient. They're going to keep coming at you every time. But we'll see tomorrow. I mean, we don't want to drop the first 2 at home. Short season, so I think I heard 2.7 games is every game based on percentage or whatever. Yeah, we don't want to lose the first 2 at home and then be going into Sunday with Lopez, I believe, on the mound. So
Yeah.
let's
This
see.
is-
Even though in February, I believe I tweeted something about Lopez is going to have an awesome year. And I'm going to stand by that. But until I actually see it, I would prefer if Keuchel can come out and shut him down tomorrow, and we can go 1-1 and go from there.
You got to watch that shit. You're gonna have a Raylo AL Cy Young meme made for you. It's
That's
gonna stick with you
It's all right.
forever. But at least you'll get a lot of Raylo autograph balls. That'll be a nice addition.
I might have
I'll
an
wear that.
extra
I'll
one
be
if you
happy
need
with that.
one.
Beef Loaf, give me your parting shot.
Boys, we knew we had a high variance team here. You got a team that's got a great offense, maybe not such a good pitching staff, and today's result was a fucking high variance result. And you're probably going to get one tomorrow. The Sox could win the game 12-2 tomorrow, and everyone's going to be back on their high horses and happy as hell or whatever. I think the whole season's going to be a fucking roller coaster ride like this.
Oh yeah.
And if we can find any sort of consistent pitching, like Wally was saying, if the pitching starts coming through, then you start feeling better about this thing. But if the pitching stays as lumpy as I think it might, Treasy, you and I talked about this. I was worried about a little bit of aggression from Giolito. Now, today's result was bad because bad defense, but he also walked people. He was not hitting his spots. I mean, he just didn't look like himself. if you even get a little bit of that with him, who picks up that slack? So I think this shit's gonna bounce off the walls for a couple weeks before we really know kind of what we got here. One thing's for certain though, this team hits the ball really fucking hard, and I enjoy watching that even when they lose.
Yeah, I'm
Agree.
just gonna kind of piggyback on that and say this team put 5 runs on the best version of the best team in their division.
Yeah.
And that might not have looked great losing by 5 because we had bad defense and bad pitching. But that was still 5 runs against their best pitcher. That means something. And if I look across the division, Wally, just like you were saying, man, there's a lot of shitty teams here that
Yeah.
you should have scored if you had the same output of today, you win that game 9 times out of 10.
Right.
We ran into what we knew we were running into, the best team in our division.
In our division. Yeah.
And probably the best team in the 2 combined divisions of the AL and NL centrals.
The Centrals, yeah.
Although there's some tough teams in the NL Central, so we're gonna face a bunch of tough teams. But I don't know. I'm not discouraged by tonight because they just hit so well. Like this team is gonna be able to hit, and that means a lot in baseball nowadays. I know it used to be a big time pitcher league, but it's not anymore. And if you can hang those kinds of numbers, like that's important. And so I'm encouraged by tonight's result, despite how shitty the fielding and pitching was. That can improve. I am confident that could get back to mediocre. And if that's mediocre and the way this team hits, being one of those 8 teams doesn't seem far-fetched to me. So I will end it there. Thanks, guys, for jumping on. It was a lot of fun. And
Hey, one thing real quick. The
Yeah.
play of the year happened tonight in the Dodgers Giants game. There was, if you have a chance to look at it, go look at the video of Chris Taylor running to first base with Pablo Sandoval covering him. It's worth it.
you know, we
I didn't
we
see
weren't
that.
going to get into ass-eating season, but you just brought us there.
Is it
And-
Friday already?
And now now that's how we have to end this. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having some fun after a not so fun game, man. Appreciate it. Have a good night, guys.
You too. Take it
All
easy.
right, guys.
Bye.